Murang'a senator has called on the majority leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, and minority leader Junet Mohammed for orchestrating false allegations against Ndindi Nyoro, who was the former Budget and Appropriation Committee in the National Assembly, after yesterday debate that came as a point of order from Kaluma, who alleged that Ndindi Nyoro and his committee were always allocating themselves so many funds.
I mean, I hear here from my friend Jared when he says that the discussion of Ndindi Nyoro in the National Assembly just happened after a point of order from the Honorable Mboko Milemba.
Yeah.
I mean, that is how things are choreographed. Mboko Milemba, you will, stand and put across this point of order. Junet, you will also after that, you will stand and use that opportunity to tear the character of Ndindi Nyoro in the house. Yeah. Kimani Ichung'wah, you will come in and make sure that whatever Junet Mohammed will not have done, that you do it very conclusively. I, as the speaker, will allow you. Because the speaker had the ability and the authority to stop them and tell them, hello, we are now going against our standing orders. Because now you have started discussing the conduct of a person without a substantive motion. Yeah. So it was something choreographed. Okay. So there is nothing like it is, they just rode on the point of order.
The senator further went ahead and labeled President William Ruto as the most tribal leader, that Ruto is now targeting people from Mount Kenya, most of those who voted against the impeachment of Gachagua. The senator was speaking during the morning daybreak show on Citizen TV, while he said Ruto has targeted leaders from the region who are in a leadership position in parliament, and they have been whipped from their own roles.
In my submission, I was saying, and because this thing is recorded, I was saying at least in the Senate. And I want Jared, because I know he's also conversant with the happenings in the Senate, to tell me, any chair in the Senate that was ousted who does not come from Mount Kenya, and if he doesn't come from Mount Kenya, because I know Honorable Seki, the senator for Kajiado, was also ousted, is because he voted no to the motion to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. The names that he's fronting, I mean, he's talking about in the National Assembly. He's saying Gekaria retained his position. Good. Mwenja retained his position. Well, Ichung'wah was not removed. I mean, you should have mentioned others, not Ichung'wah. Of course, how do you say that Ichung'wah could have been removed? He's the one removing people, of course, under instructions from somewhere. So under instructions. No.
He further went ahead and criticized President William Ruto for labeling other leaders as tribal, yet he himself is the biggest tribalist.
That survived the purge in Mount Kenya that voted yes. Everybody that voted yes to the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua was ousted. And I have examples of those that fell by the wayside because of voting yes. Because of voting no. I mean, Wanjiko Moher, yeah. I mean, Honorable Gakuya, Honorable Gathoni wa Mushomba, and Ndindi, because Ndindi Nyoro's cardinal sin, and that is why he had to lose his seat, was abstaining from voting yes to the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. So when we sit here, let us be honest with ourselves. Yeah. Tell me, for example, in the Senate, and Senator Manzo is here, tell me any chair from the Rift Valley that was removed from the Senate. Honorable, Senator Mandago, chair for health, was retained. Honorable Chesang, Senator for Trans Nzoia, Chair ICT, was retained. Honorable Sigei, Senator for Bomet, Chair Jailak, was retained. Honorable Murgo, Senator for West Pokot, Chair Labour, was retained. And tell me which senator from the mountain who was a chair was retained.
Senator Nyutu also has called on CS Muturi to speak out more and loudly and not to be intimidated for speaking for the voiceless and calling on Ruto to be accountable. Remember, CS yesterday was on Citizen JK Live and said he is calling on the government because the government said there are some things that would not happen at their watch during the campaign period.
We don't have a free parliament.
So there was
parliament is not independent as we speak.
So money
it is captured.
Money was in.
Of course, a lot of it. And it has been said by very many people.
Okay.
We were also offered money and we declined. So, I mean, let's not follow that route, but let people not trivialize things. Okay. You cannot, and don't forget that Rigathi Gachagua was not given a hearing by the Senate. I mean, he fell ill and actually was condemned and hard. And so you cannot talk about Parliament here, that is the one that removed Rigathi Gachagua. Parent who suffered that pain of having a child abducted. Of course, supersedes any position that you may be holding. And Muturi is speaking for those that may not have a voice, because you know so many young men and women, children, so to speak, have been abducted since June 25, when there was that Gen Z, protest. And so Muturi is within his right. He's calling out this evil of abductions and killings, especially of children. And you have heard Rigathi Gachagua say that even the colonialist, as brutal as he was, did not kill children. And so this is something that we must condemn, and we support Muturi. If they want to fire him for that, I hear he's on the chopping board, him with the Mulongo, and that is why Kalwala was speaking the way he was in Parliament yesterday, and some other CSs. Well and good. In any case, each of these people were already public servants of high repute, even before Ruto came to power. Muturi, remember, was the Speaker of the National Assembly for, I think, 2 terms. He had served as a magistrate before he was elected as a member of Parliament. So this is not somebody that you can threaten with a sack. This is somebody who has occupied high offices, and so you cannot threaten Muturi. He must, and I commend him for speaking the truth. But just allow me to comment. You know, Jared is very evasive about the point. So he's saying that he's wondering when Gachagua became the mountain. Well, I have given names. It is not about Gachagua alone. I've given names. I don't. Who is the greatest tribalist in this country, if not William Ruto? Who will carefully make things appear nobody from his community is asked? Even in the National Assembly, let Okello tell me anybody from President Ruto's community that was asked. Let him mention one.
Okay.
And because I'm mentioning names of people from Mount Kenya that were asked.